We at Merck KGaA Darmstadt, Germany are committed to science, technology, and innovation. We rolled out the annual Biopharma Innovation Cup for young talent, where the brightest students from all over the world come together in Darmstadt to develop new ideas covering unmet medical needs. You are invited to be a part of it. Have fun and learn about the pharmaceutical and chemical industry and get coaching from professionals in developing your innovative idea into a reality. Win the Innovation Cup and get 20,000 euros with your team.
I think what's great about the Innovation Cup is coming together with a lot of different minds from all around the world, people with all different backgrounds and expertise.
The Innovation Cup has been a great experience to both think critically about science as well as make friendships with new colleagues and learn a lot more about the biopharma innovation and product development process.
I love drug discovery. I love thinking about new innovative ideas, and the people here are great, the coaches are great. I really enjoy being here.
Everybody here is so open-minded, so eager to communicate, to share their ideas, so warm to each other that I really just feel like surrounded by family. It's wonderful.
I feel the Innovation Cup is a celebration of human creativity, curiosity and innovation, and all together mixed with science. That's just an amazing opportunity.
The scientists that you meet and the level of innovation that you encounter in the last week has just been mind-boggling.
This is a wonderful experience that you won't get at any other place.
Incredible, unforgettable, and amazing.
Wow, that was great. I want to repeat it again.
Apply now.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rachel. I'm from HeySuccess. I'll be your host today, and my colleague Chris is also in the background. So what can you expect from today's session? Well, first we'll have a short informative presentation about the Innovation Cup, followed by some dedicated time to answer your questions. So don't be shy and do put plenty of those in the Q&A box. You can start submitting right away, and throughout the presentation, we will cover as many as possible before we get to the top of the hour. So I am delighted to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Maike Kober-Hasslacher. By way of background, I can tell you that Maike studied the interdisciplinary program of molecular biotechnology at the University of Heidelberg with a research stay at Harvard Medical School in Boston. After finishing her master's thesis at the German Cancer Research Center in Heidelberg, Maike focused on immunology and signal transition on her PhD at the Max Planck Institute of Biochemistry and the Technical University of Munich. As lead innovation manager, Maike drives corporate innovation and engages in various initiatives fostering research and development across the company's three sectors. Passionate about collaborative programs and those strategies, Maike is dedicated to shaping a bright future through innovative approaches that enable significant impact. So, without further ado, I will hand over to Maike for the presentation. And I'll see you again when we get onto those questions. Over to you, Maike.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much for your kind introduction. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar. I will today give you an introduction not only to the Innovation Cup, but also to the company and provide you with some more details on some of the initiatives that we are running within our team. I am here today. Ulrich Betz unfortunately cannot make it, but I'm directly working in his team and will probably be able to answer all of your questions. So to start with, I would like to introduce you to the company. Who are we? We are Merck KGaA Darmstadt, Germany, and we hold the rights to the name and the trademark internationally, except for the United States and Canada, where we operate as our three business sectors as EMD Serono, Millipore Sigma, and EMD Electronics. This is also already reflecting the three business sectors of the company, and what unites them is science. Science essentially is at the heart of everything we do. And I'll provide you some of the examples for the 3 business sectors that give you a little bit more details. Our vision is that we are sparking discovery to elevate humanity. So this means that with our technologies that we provide, we want to advance science and technology, which can foster innovation and opens new possibilities. This, in the end, is there to elevate humanity. So we want to enhance quality of life, ensure our advancements with our 3 business sectors, life science, healthcare, and electronics. In the area of healthcare, we are active in immunology and oncology, which is mostly known to everyone. But what not everybody knows is we are active also in fertility. Indeed, the fertility business is leading worldwide. And to date, more than 6 million babies have been born with the help of our products. In the area of life science, we provide technologies to R&D units within academia, within biotech companies, within pharmaceutical companies. And this is enabling the science. This is enabling the research. One example is the CRISPR genome editing technology, where we hold quite a lot of patents. And this helps scientists to make life-changing possibilities a reality. The third area we are active in is electronics. And in this area, our technologies enable devices. And there's quite a good chance that the device you are holding in your hand or you're using at the moment to watch this webinar contains some of the technologies that Merck KGaA Darmstadt, Germany is providing. On the one hand, there are technologies for displays, OLED liquid crystals, but on the other hand, we are also active in the area of semiconductors. So parts for fingerprint sensors, memory chips, and processors to which our materials go into. Besides the 3 business areas, healthcare, life science, and electronics, Merck is also quite active in the area of artificial intelligence and digitalization. Together with Palantir, we build, for example, Syntropy. And this is a solution for data curation and collaboration in the area of biomedical data, really unlocking the power of data and going with these kind of projects beyond the business sectors and essentially driving synergies between the business sectors as well. I mentioned that science is really behind all the 3 business sectors and uniting this. And this is also why, at the occasion of Merck's KGaA's Darmstadt, Germany's 350-year anniversary, which was in 2018, so it's really a company going back to the year of 1868, we initiated the Future Insight Prize. It's an honor to enable outstanding achievements in science and technology towards groundbreaking innovation. It has been given out in different areas, including health, nutrition, energy, or the digital area. And the next prize for 2026 is going to be the smart health sensor. So again, in health, this year in last year in 2025, we gave it out in the area of regenerative medicine. The prize comes with a research grant with up to 1 million euro and is sponsored, as mentioned, by Merck KGaA Darmstadt, Germany. You indeed can be able to provide new ideas for the next Future Insight Prize 2027 or beyond by going to the link here and sharing your ideas of a better future, which can be enabled by science and technology on our dream board. Another project I would like to provide you some detail with today is our Curious Future Insight Conference under the scheme of United by Science for a Better Tomorrow. The last conference took place in 2024. And the next conference will be in 2027. The Curious Future Insight Conference is one of the world's most renowned gatherings on the future of science and technology. And what is really unique about it is the interdisciplinary. It covers topics such as health, synthetic biology, material science, energy, artificial intelligence, robotics, mobility, but also space flights, secrets of the human mind, and new ways of collaborating. Altogether, with the conferences that had been so far, we had more than 8,000 attendees from academia and industry. And since some years, it's an event that will be online and on site. The next conference in 2027 will take place in July 2027 in Heidelberg, and also will be a possibility again to join online. We have top speakers. This is also quite unique about the conference, that we invite really the leads of all these different areas. Altogether, we had more than 22 Nobel laureates, some of whom received the Nobel Prize after the conference, actually, but also CEOs from large companies such as Merck KGaA, Darmstadt, Germany, Microsoft, BioNTech, but also top young talent is joining. Merck KGaA Darmstadt, Germany is one of the main sponsors for this event, but we also work together with a lot of other partners. For example, we have a long-standing collaboration with the well-known scientific journals, Nature and Science, but also a lot of research organizations, scientific organizations from Germany, but also worldwide. The conference is organized by the Future Insight Association. It is a non-profit association and unites individuals and organizations in its mission to support the advancement of science and education for the benefit of humanity. So in this case, if you would like to be part of this, you can join the global movement now. Go to this link, sign up, and you can even become part of the organization team for the next conference to come. Another initiative I would like to introduce you is the Make Science Not War Declaration, also known as the Darmstadt Science Declaration or World Science Declaration. And this is a call to all nations, society, and organizations to devote more resources to the advancements of science and technology. So if you're interested, and if this recalls with you, you can go to Make Science Not War and sign it online. You're in good company. It has been signed by many of the speakers of our conference. Even Nobel laureates were part of there. Now I will come to the Innovation Cup, which is the main reason why you are all here and where you would probably like to answer or to post your questions for answers later on. The Innovation Cup is the program that we run that brings together top young talent from all over the world, together with our internal experienced researchers, with managers, but also retirees. So it's really a meeting of the generations to develop new innovative ideas for new products. It is essentially a one-week summer camp that will take place near Frankfurt in Germany in August this year. And it comes with a prize for the personal award for the winning team, sharing 20,000 euro. What is very nice about it is that also some of the project ideas will be implemented. And it's also a fantastic opportunity to gain your network, to get to know other people, to develop your own ideas. It has won multiple awards with this concept. So, for example, the Innovationspreis of the German economy, several Stevie Gold Awards. And what is great, the application round has already started. It is open until end of January. So this is really your chance to be part of it. It has been running since several years. So it will reach its 16th edition in 2026. So once you are in there, you are in very good company with all the former other participants and will also be automatically part of the alumni group. Application is possible at innovationcup.emdgroup.com, and these links will also be shared with everybody afterwards. If you would like to do some further reading, the Innovation Cup has also been covered in renowned journals. For example, at the occasion of the 350-year anniversary of the company, it has been covered in the European Business Review with quite an extensive article, but also in the self-pressed journal Trends in Biotechnology. We had a recapture of the 350 anniversary Innovation Cup. It's also been featured in Nature, where science competitions are analyzed and how this can bring science into the real world. What does it look like to win the Innovation Cup? I have some impressions here of the winning teams during the last years. You can see quite some big teams we had there. People are celebrating, people were really happy to win the Innovation Cup. But I can also tell you already being part of it is a great experience. What is unique about this is the synergies between the three generations. As I mentioned before, it's really a week for young, talented students. So this is you, if you apply and make it through. But you also get in contact with current employees of the company, as well as with retirees. So it's really three generations meeting here, gathering their ideas. This is quite unique amongst this program, and this is also what really fosters these ideas. Having the experienced researchers, but on the other hand, having the young researchers coming in with their ideas. And this is what really makes the teams win as well. How does the application process work? As mentioned, applications are open now, and the first phase is running. It is essentially based on a CV. So submitting your CV to a topic or a team of choice enables you to be in this first round. And the deadline is January 31st, 2026. So you do still have some time to prepare. These CVs or these applications will be reviewed, and a part of the applicants will get a notification that they made it through to the second application phase. The second phase of the application is essentially the idea submission phase. So some of the applicants are invited to submit a concrete idea that fits to the team or the topic of choice that they chose. Amongst these ideas, we further screen and evaluate and select the people into the teams. The invited participants are then part of the Innovation Cup summer camp. This year, it will take place from August 8th to August 14th. What is in for you? What can you do at the Innovation Cup? It is essentially really a life-changing experience to be part of the Innovation Cup. You are attending a summer camp with a lot of training, with a lot of coaching, with a lot of possibilities for networking. You do have the chance with your team to win the 20,000 euro prize. You also have several chances that go beyond that. For example, the chance to get a permanent position at Merck KGaA Darmstadt, Germany, and the evaluation of implementation of your project. The travel, accommodation, and expenses will all be paid by us. And what I mentioned earlier is you are also becoming a member of the Innovation Cup alumni group. And this is really great. We have a meeting every year at the beginning of the Innovation Cup week, so that the participants of the current year can meet the alumni already. It is a place to network. It is a place to discuss your ideas, to showcase what you're working on. And it's actually quite interesting to see where all the former participants are going. Some of them stay in academia, become professors, others build up their own startups, others find jobs in industry. So it's really quite a high diversity, and it's always great to meet people again. So once you're in, you can join this yearly event. In addition, I would like to give you some examples what former participants think. I am a former participant as well, by the way. I participated in the middle of my PhD. So I can tell you a little bit more details, of course, in the questions and answer session, but I'd also like to quote some other participants' experiences. Many people say the networking and fun is something they really enjoyed alongside its hard work about the innovation, but it's also really a very unique and challenging experience on the one hand, but also very interesting. And people say it's really a listed once in a lifetime experience. It's meeting great minds where amazing ideas come out. But also people talk about the fantastic innovation, the brilliant minds, the collaborative teamwork, which is really something they think is quite unique about it. the scientific vision, the experienced experts. This is what people point out, what they really like about it. The powerful contacts, the fueled motivation they take away from this for the next year. Some of them even said it's really a turning point in the career. It was for me as well. So if you have further questions on that, I'd be also interested to hear that. And I probably will be able to answer your questions now. I hope you have posted some of them already. And I'm happy to hand back to Rachel for the question and answer session.
Wonderful. Thank you, Maike, for that. That was super informative. And how exciting does that sound, everybody? So we've had lots of questions come through already. I know a few of them may have been answered actually in the presentation, but we'll go from the top of the list anyway, just to make sure that we've covered all bases. So first of all then, Christine has asked, do you need to be in a team or have an idea to enter?
So the application phase is in 2 phases. Essentially, one point, you don't need to have a team to begin with. You apply as a single person, as a single participant. And the first phase is not about the idea yet, but it is based on your CV. So first application phase, you just choose which team you would like to belong to. You can also choose application to several teams, but you need to have some credibility that your background has a fit to the certain area that you choose, but you essentially submit your CV. And only then in the second phase, you might be invited if you make it through to the idea submission phase, but the teams are built up by the reviewers, by our evaluators internally. So you do not need a team to apply, but you apply as a single person.
Great. Okay. That leads quite nicely onto another question, actually. Someone has asked, should the CV be tailored to a specific team that they are applying for, or perhaps, say, a specialism?
So you do need to make sure that whoever reviews your CV is convinced that you would be a great fit to the certain team. So we do look for a fit to the topic within your CV. So I would always recommend to have a tailor-made CV to any application you do. But of course, you need to provide all the information that is needed. But if you apply to the oncology or the immunology team, might be quite a similar CV. But if you then apply to advanced electronic materials, we do need to see the fit from your scientific background. So for any team you apply to, think about what the reviewer would look for. What are the details you can provide that the reviewer would think this is a great fit to a certain topic, to a certain team. So you should make sure you point out the topics, or you point out the fit to the topic that you apply to.
Okay, great. Just to elaborate on that, actually, Emma has asked, is there a page limit or a preference for the CV? Are there certain aspects of a CV, like industry experience, publications, research speciality, that are weighted more heavily than others when you're considering applicants?
So there's no defined page limit in a way, but what you need to consider is that we screen a lot of CVs. So you need to make sure that the key information that you want the evaluator to see really sticks out from your CV. Probably a 10-page CV in a way doesn't make sense, because there would be so much information, the person would just be overwhelmed. But what I need to see immediately, for example, if I review, is the information that I want to see. So make sure you make it to the point and supply all the information that you think is relevant. And in the question, there's also the question in a way, what is the relevant information? And we usually have quite some questions on the evaluation criteria. And we do look for a scientist. This is not something where we invite experienced business leaders to apply, but we invite you to apply as a scientist. So make sure that your scientific merit, your achievements in the science area become obvious to the person who reviews it. So we would look out for scientific achievements, make sure there is a list of publications included there. And if you do not have publications yet, maybe you might mention manuscripts that you have in preparation, presentations in the scientific area that you have been given beforehand. These aspects are really key. But besides that, we are also looking for this entrepreneurial mindset. And you might have some experience that goes beyond your study program, that goes beyond your PhD, that goes beyond the postdoc that you are following, that might be of relevance to such a competition, to such a challenge as the Innovation Cup. So also make sure to include this kind of either extracurricular activities that you are doing that might have a fit, or maybe you've built up a startup already, you're in some entrepreneurial club at your university, any experience that goes beyond this science that tells us that you are a curious person, that you have an entrepreneurial mindset is also very important for us to see.
Wonderful. Some great advice there. Hope that helped, Emma, and anybody else who is CV writing right now. Going on to a different topic then. For PhD applicants, do you prefer applicants in any year or only students in the 3rd or 4th year who are about to graduate?
We are very open and flexible with regards to which stage of your scientific career you are in. We even accept applications from people before they start their PhD, any year in your PhD or a postdoc. And even if you are an early professional, you could still become participant of the Innovation Cup. So with this regard, we have quite a wide range that we allow for application. There's no specific preference. So all of these are applicants.
So do apply. Perfect. Okay. And can MSc students apply for the Innovation Cup, or just MBA and PhD students? I think you've already covered that, but just to be very specific.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. All of the above. And true, what I didn't mention, different disciplines. The question implied MBA students. Yes, this is also possible. You should somehow have a connection to science, though. As mentioned, we are looking for scientists, but we are also looking into interdisciplinary teams. So if you are an MBA student, but either, in your bachelor's or in your master's have come some kind of science program that you joined, as mentioned, you might be an entrepreneur in the scientific area. This is also possible to apply there. But other than that, any scientific discipline, also in areas like artificial intelligence, machine learning, these are also areas we look for. You just need to make sure that you showcase why you have a fit to the specific team that you apply to.
Okay, great. So that actually leads on to the next one. So if somebody is applying to a specific team, will this be driven by that participant's background or the proposed ideas? How would that team selection work?
So as in the first phase, you only submit your CV and not an idea yet. You need to have a fit from your background to the specific team you apply to. You can apply to several teams. For example, the team of oncology and neuroscience and immunology sometimes has a certain overlap where your background might fit to both teams. And it is perfectly fine if you would like to apply to both of these teams. So really try to see which of the teams best suits you. From the background, how can you convince, as mentioned, the reviewer, the evaluator, that you are a suitable person to be part of that team? But you do not need to worry about the idea yet in the first phase, because this is based on your CV. What happens sometimes is that we see that a person also has a fit to another team. So in the phase of the team selection, we might also invite you to a team that is very close to your original submission in case this comes true. But overall, just make sure you have a fit that you can apply to several teams indeed.
Several teams. Okay, that might be the approach then. I hope that was helpful. That came in anonymously. And just a reminder to everybody, if you can put your questions into the Q&A box, it is the best place to filter those through. So we've got lots more, so I'll keep going through. Are ideas evaluated? Well, I guess we don't have the idea at the point of submission. So the ideas come later once the team is formed, right?
So the idea phase, you might be invited. If you make it through the CV phase, the first application phase, we invite you to submit an idea essentially.
Yeah.
And for the idea submission phase, this is also, people would sometimes like to know, how do I know what idea should I propose? And what we offer in this phase is a short online session where we introduce all the applicants who are invited to submit an idea to the search spaces for the different teams. You will get some more information what Merck KGaA Darmstadt Germany is looking for to be able to really fine-tune and focus your idea that you want to submit to the search space.
Great. Okay. So thinking more around the idea then, when we do get to that stage of the process, Leora has asked, do we need to complete a budget, an experimental plan, etc., around said idea?
No, in the phase where you submit the idea, you do not need a budget or things like that. It really is purely about the idea. But throughout the week, when you work on a specific idea with your team, these aspects should be covered in the final presentation, but you'll learn more about it once you're in the Innovation Cup, but it's not needed for the first initial idea submission phase.
Okay, great. I hope that helps, Leora. Just good to think ahead. And Michael has asked, aside from the CV, do we need to submit a motivation letter, a covering letter?
It's absolutely possible to submit both a CV and a motivation cover letter. It depends, though, who is a reviewer, what they put the emphasis on, or whether they first look into the cover letter or whether they focus more on the CV for the selection. But it is possible to submit both. And I would make sure that both are of highest quality, of convincing, full of convincing aspects why we should select you to really ensure or give you the best possibilities to make it through.
Yeah, really tailor that motivation letter if you can. Okay, perfect. Good luck with your application, Michael. So moving on, somebody has asked about the visa application process. Could you say a little more around that and if it's smooth sailing?
Yeah, so essentially this would be something once you are finally selected after the second phase, and if you are invited to the Innovation Cup, we support the visa process in case you need a visa to travel to Germany. So in case you are selected, and you'll get further instructions, of course, at this point, and you know you need a visa to enter Germany for the Innovation Cup summer camp, we'll definitely support that. We can write invitation letter, a letter of support, and really try to enable everything for you to participate. So there is a process there that can help you.
Great. Okay. Thank you for that. And let's go to Thomas next. So when we do get to the ideation application, how specific does that need to be in order to get through? Could you give any more tips around that?
It should be quite specific. I mean, as mentioned, you don't need a business plan, you don't need a budget, but it should really be on a very solid scientific basis. And with this regard, quite specific on what is the idea behind it, what is the possible outcome. You'll get more information if you make it to the idea submission phase on the search space. So you can really tailor your idea that you want to prepare for the search space that Merck KGaA Darmstadt Germany is looking for within your team. This information will help you to build your idea, but of course you will be the one in the end to really think about it critically and make a layout. But it does need to be specific, it does need to be detailed, but also overall convincing to the reviewer.
Mm-hmm. Great tips. Okay, thank you. So on to a little bit more about the team's allocation, actually. So this person is a master's student, but they haven't published any papers yet. They are moving towards a PhD and a postdoc in the future. How would that influence the team selection?
So we look for, when we do the team selection, for an interdisciplinary team in a way that fits to the topic, but covers kind of different areas. And we would also see to integrate people from different levels. So if you are still in your master's, working towards a PhD, we will consider this when reviewing. And of course, as mentioned, you might not expect to have a high ranking journal publication essentially in this phase, unless you were quite lucky to work on projects that went really well. So this, of course, is taken into consideration when we review the CVs, that, you know, depending on your career stage, the scientific merit might be based on different aspects. But this is also, of course, taking into consideration when selecting the team in the end, that we have potentially different stages of careers represented there.
Great. Okay, thank you. And following on from that, so is it possible to be selected for multiple teams if somebody applies for several? And what would happen in that instance, I suppose?
You cannot be in several teams at the same time in the end. So if you make it through the CV phase and you're invited to submit an idea, and you're selected, you will only be able to work in one team. It's quite hard work in this week, so you wouldn't be able to really work on several ideas. But once you're part of the Innovation Cup, of course, this wouldn't be a question anymore. But usually you're invited to submit an idea to one particular team. So if you apply to several teams in the very first phase, you'll only get invited to submit an idea to one team.
Okay, great. So that decision is made on your side. Perfect. And a little question around the time frame. What is the expected review period? When is an applicant expected to hear back after that first submission?
Yeah, so the phase or the submission ends January 31st, was already mentioned. And we do expect that we are done with a screening around March, where we then invite some people or a particular fraction of the applicants to submit an idea. You will have around 1 month to submit essentially for the second application phase. And based on this, the final selection will take place, and we expect that this will be around end of May, so that there is enough time to really plan everything for the Innovation Cup summer camp in August.
Great. Okay. Hope that helps. And moving on to the next one. So are we expected to have a working prototype by the end of the Innovation Cup? How would that?
Essentially, I think the only possibility for a working prototype would be any idea in the artificial intelligence space. There is no lab work involved during this week. It would just be too short. So it is really based on the science that has been published, but also on your idea. And you need to really make sure that it is convincing and build it up by credible resources. But there's no lab work, no wet lab work involved during this week. But what we did have in the past for subject areas that involved some artificial intelligence or large language models, we had some teams that were kind of building something tiny prototype-like, but this is only possible, of course, in areas where there's no wet lab work involved.
Okay, yeah, depends on the specific. Great, okay, and just backtracking a little bit to that second phase where everybody is in a team. Shailene would like to know, do the formed groups have to choose just one of the ideas together to move forward with?
So when you submit your idea, there is no interaction or no communication between the applicants yet. This only starts once you are selected into a team. And you can imagine then there are essentially the 6 ideas that the applicants had submitted in the first place, and they will share these ideas amongst each other. And this is when the Innovation Cup Summer Week starts. This is when you talk within your team members, and you can either select one of the ideas that has originally been submitted to work on, or you can come up with an entirely new idea during the Innovation Cup week. But this is something that only happens in the very late phase, let's say already the early phase of the Innovation Cup, that you share these ideas amongst the participants who have been selected. And most of the cases, it's maybe starting with one of the ideas that has been submitted. But what is really unique is that when these people come together, this is when the new ideas emerge. So maybe something that's been built on two of the submitted ideas, maybe something entirely new you come up with when you engage with the alumni coaches, with the retiree coaches, with the employees of the company. And this is the unique thing. This is where then the ideas come out that finally make it, let's say, to the last day of the pitch when you present your idea. It's never really the very idea that has been submitted in the first place, but it's fine-tuned, it's twisted, it's turned around, and usually it's a mix of several things that have been submitted in the first place.
Bit of an evolution, which is an exciting prospect. So changing on to a different topic then, because I know we've got about 10 minutes left. Adela would like to know who owns the IP for the ideas that are submitted, please.
Yes, and I was expecting this question. Usually we have it in the very beginning. It is a very important question indeed. And it is the case that once you are invited to submit an idea, or essentially before you submit your idea, you are signing a contract, a participant's contract. This says that the idea that is in the end presented to the jury is owned by Merck KGaA, Darmstadt, Germany. But there are several aspects to add to this. And that is that with participating here, you get the opportunity that the idea you submitted is actually implemented. So we typically implement the winning idea, but also maybe the second runner-up or any other idea can be implemented at the company. And you, as a team member, then really get the chance to be part of this. What is also important to say, if the company decides, and this is a process that kind of takes place at the weeks after the Innovation Cup has finished, if the company decides not to follow the idea, the IP is always given back to the team. And this allows you and the other team members to ideally work on your idea outside of the Innovation Cup, following that outside of the company as well. And we had really some great success stories here where people got the idea back because the company decided not to follow it up internally. But then people started their own company based on this, a biotech company onwards. So this is really something where we want to make sure that these ideas are not shelved somewhere, but either they will be implemented at Merck or you and the team members get the chance to implement the idea yourself.
Great. Okay. Thanks for that detailed explanation. I hope that's helpful for everybody. And yeah, it's a great opportunity to have a bit of an incubator for your ideas, whichever way it goes. So moving on then, Romani would like to know a little bit more about the Cup Week. What activities actually happen? Can you give a little bit more insight into the agenda and what they can expect?
Yeah, of course. That's a very interesting question as well. And you don't really find too much information on this. Of course, a main part will be the work together with your team on your idea, on the idea that you select. But the week also includes a lot of coaching. So coaching on the ideation process, coaching on tailoring your idea to the search scope. You will get coaching not only from the alumni coach, so every team has an alumni of the Innovation Cup to guide you through the week. So they have the insights from their own Innovation Cup week. You also get guidance from current employees of the company, as well as from retirees from the company. This is mixed with lectures from really leaders at Merck KGaA Darmstadt, Germany. And they will present different areas, what we work on to help you target your idea to the search spaces. So you'll get a round experience in a way. We also have some fun activities usually. So of course, it's hard work in a way, but it's also fun. It's the possibility to network with everyone. We usually have an evening event, for example, where former participants talk a little bit on the career track. They tell you on how to win the cup. You'll get the chance to really ask your questions. What happened after the Innovation Cup? How did it influence your career? All these kind of questions. So there's a lot of interaction besides the work on the project idea. The last day, this is maybe also something important to say, is the day of the pitching. And on this day, you will be able, together with your team, to pitch to the leadership of the company your idea that you have developed. And this is where the decision will be made, which is the idea that will be implemented, which is the idea that wins the Innovation Cup.
Wow, what a week.
Intense week indeed, but also fun, as mentioned.
Absolutely. And how did it influence your future then beyond the Innovation Cup? Maybe you can give a bit more.
Yeah, and I think this time I didn't talk too much about that. I did a little bit more in the last years, but I was a participant. I think I shortly mentioned that. That was in the middle of my PhD, where I was not entirely committed to either academic career or a career outside academia. And I was trying to see what else is out there when I participated. And indeed, several years later, I did join the company. And this was through the connection to the Innovation Cup, as Uli, and I'm working directly in his team, Uli Betz, was inviting me to an advisory board as an alumni of the Innovation Cup, where we discussed ideas for the anniversary edition in 2018. And I learned about the program that Merck was rolling out for its anniversary, Merck KGaA Darmstadt, Germany. And I was quite convinced and interested that it's a great opportunity to be part of it. And when learning that new people need to come to the team to realize all these projects, I took the chance to be part of that. And I actually organized the Innovation Cup in 2018. So I saw the Innovation Cup as a participant, I saw it as an organizer, and I now see it as an alumni.
The whole journey. Brilliant. Thanks for that insight. And just switching back over to the application process then to try and cover off these last few practical questions. Is there anything else that participants should submit alongside the CV and the cover letter? For example, any reference letters, would that be helpful?
You don't need reference letters at all. So really the CV plus the cover letter is enough and is essential parts that you need to put the emphasis on. And I would rather recommend to really make sure these are of high quality, as we don't need the reference letters in this case.
Perfect. Okay, that covers off quite a few of these practical questions, actually. If we're submitting from different locations, what time zone is that deadline in? I wouldn't recommend to leave it right up until the last moment of the last day, but
yes. Essentially, I would not recommend to wait until the very last day to submit. It's always good to be a little bit ahead, but essentially, I suppose it's European deadline, European time zone, but
don't leave it until
then. Exactly. I wouldn't necessarily leave it to the very end on this day. Rather try to aim for something a little bit before the deadline.
Definitely.
My recommendation. But we always see a peak though during the last days.
Of course, yeah.
And I understand you want to fine-tune, you want to submit the best possible, but maybe in your head write a deadline a day before and submit.
Good advice. I'd agree with that. Okay, let's have a little scroll back through. So just sticking on the timeline, actually, I know this was in the presentation, but just to be completely clear, Anvita has asked for a little bit of a approximate timeline across the whole process. So could you just give us a quick recap of the milestones?
Yes, of course. So essentially deadline, January 31st, official deadline, but remember, better submit a day before than a day after, which is not possible, but on the deadline, I mean. And we'll review all the applications then. Around March, we'll have the invitation to the second phase, if you're invited. To this one, you'll have around 1 month then to submit your idea once you're invited. And final selection we expect around May. The program itself, the dates are given also online, is in the week of August 8th to August 14th then this year.
Perfect. Okay. Hope that was helpful. And all of this will be in the recording and the slides as well. So don't worry if you missed any of that. You will receive a recording very soon. And just going back to the kind of teams and the size. So how many teams are there and what's the size of those? Just to give a little bit of an indication. I don't know if that is the same every year, if it changes.
It does change slightly. So we have usually around 6 to 7 teams. We have 7 teams in 2026. Areas are oncology, neuroscience, and immunology, which have been there from the very beginning. Drug discovery is another team. For the very first time this year, we have a team in fertility as one of the areas. I mentioned that Merck KGaA Darmstadt, Germany is active in the healthcare area. We also have a team in synthetic biology. We have a team in smart factoring, and we have a team in advanced electronic materials, which is also rather new. And each of these teams will have 6 participants, Innovation Cup participants in the end, that are selected to form a team.
6 participants. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. And so after the CV is submitted, is that the end of amends? What's submitted at the end of January is final.
And so, yeah, I mean, that is the end of the submission phase. And if you're invited to the second phase, you would have to submit an idea. But that is part of the second phase only upon invitation to the second phase.
Yeah, great. Okay. I believe that actually covers everything. So we are right at the top of the hour. So thank you so much, Maike. That was really, really informative. And I am sure everybody else got a lot out of that as well. Really great to hear about your experience. And as a reminder, everybody, do submit your applications no later than the 31st of January 2026. A follow-up email will be sent tomorrow that will have a link to the application form, both application forms depending on your geography, and a link to the recording of this webinar as well. So you can go back and refresh your memory on all of the wonderful details that we've gone through. So that just leaves me to wish you all the best of luck with your applications and your ideas. And really thank you again for being with us today. And see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you. Good luck with the application.